Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Monica and today I'm going to bring you my top 10 best project pan tips. So this is going to be my 5th year project panning. I absolutely love makeup. I love panning makeup. And over the last 4 years, I've learned a lot about me, about makeup, about the whole process. And I get so many questions, especially recently. I posted my 2021 Pan That Palette finale, my 2022 Pan That Palette intro, and then my Petty Project Pan finale and my Petty Project Pan intro. I'll have all those in the description box down below if you're interested. But I got a lot of questions or like comments about how, I couldn't do that. You know, it takes a lot of motivation and a lot of dedication to do that. And I realized I have not done like a tips and tricks kind of video for project panning in quite a long time. And I saw Christina Chang posted a video a few weeks ago. And I thought, you know what, let me go ahead and post all of my, get all my notes together and give you guys my best suggestions for tips and tricks. Also, I'm loving these bangs. I did not cut my hair. I actually haven't gotten a haircut in a long time. I think tonight I'm gonna wash my hair, bring it back to where it's like in its natural curly state and give myself a trim. But I would have killed for these years ago. Instead of actually cutting my hair into bangs, I would have just gotten clip-ins like these. They're nice. Anyway, it had nothing to do with this video. So I've got my top 10 tips right here. Let's go ahead and jump in. So my tip number 1 is to find the best project for you. There is literally a project pan for just about everything. And if there isn't a project pan specifically for you, make one. My favorite pans happen to be, I like the long-term pan of the Pan That Palette. I love having a year-long kind of overarching goal. I like that it's like centered and specific. You've got typically you've got one palette. You've got like your goal to finish it up by the end of the year, and it's a good amount of time where A, it's still somewhat of a challenge, but B, you've got a lot of time to work with it. So I like having one kind of long project and then filling it the rest of the year with like some smaller projects. Like my Petty Project Pan last year was a 6-month project. This year I'm turning it into a year-long project, but I'm kind of changing things, and that's gonna be new for me. I might find out that I don't like having another year-long project there, but it's something I learned through trial and error. So that's the first thing. If you are interested at all in panning, I would A, find a project, because those make it a bit more interesting, it makes it a bit more fun, and it is easier to kind of follow along and track your progress that way. And B, find the one that's perfect for you. It might not be a year-long one right off the bat. There are projects that are a few months long. There are projects that are just for seasons, like there's Finish 5 by fall, there's like Finish 13 by Halloween, there's Drop 10 by summer. You can do pretty much anything. So if you type in, go to YouTube and just type in some ideas, type in seasonal project pan, see what comes up. Type in project pan intro, and you'll see there's a ton of projects. There's projects that focus on cream projects that focus on specific types, and it doesn't have to be just makeup, though we'll talk about that in another follow-up tip. My second tip is to not overload your plate right at the beginning. So I know it is super tempting to, when you finally find that project you're so excited about, you want to pan all the things. Don't do that. I've seen so many people, unfortunately, get super excited right out the gate. They have a bunch of products and they're hard products to pan. They're big eyeshadow palettes, or they're a blush, or they're a product that you know it's going to take a long time to pan. And then they decide to pan 10 of them. But then when they don't see the progress, they're not making good progress, they're not having fun with it, they give up because they had too many products at the beginning. So my tip for you is to start so small. Start small. If you want to pan that palette, make it a small palette. My very first Pan That Palette was the Marc Jacobs style Icon palette, and that had, I think, 9 pans in it. Smaller pans. I think the very first project that I ever did was a 10 product project, and I made them not all makeup, but even then 10 was a bit too much, and I kind of felt discouraged at times. So that's the one thing I would say. If you're gonna start with a project, start small. I would say probably max 5 products for your first project, just to see if you even like it. And that's the key, is to see if you like it. Try something small, see how it goes, see if you even like panning projects, because panning might not be for everyone. Don't pan just because you feel like you should pan, or everyone's you feel pressured to pan. It should only be something that you enjoy. So if you're going through the first project and you find yourself not having fun or enjoying it, it's okay to not continue, My tip number 3 is to be very mindful over what you choose to pan. This is especially important when it comes to longer projects, like your Pan That Palette, when it's a whole year you're spending with 1 or 2 palettes. The reason why I feel like I'm so successful with my pan projects is because I have that reason like behind it. It's not just to finish up a palette. You know, it might seem like that on the surface, but ultimately I'm panning to learn. I'm panning to get experience. With my very first Pan That palette, the Marc Jacobs style icon palette, that was to really say, okay, can I even pan a palette? Can I stick with one palette for an entire year? How can I do this? So that was the first one. The second one was ABH's Subculture palette. And that was really to pull me out of my comfort zone. Before that year, before 2019, I really did not wear colorful eyeshadow. So that pan project was to A, get really familiar with, learn the ABH formula, how to work with it, how I like to best work with it, and B, really get me out of my comfort zone color-wise. Like, how can I use these colors? How can I make some of them work appropriate? How can I get, exciting looks out of these that way? My third one was the Jeffree Star Cosmetics Blood Sugar palette, and I was panning through that, A, because I no longer supported the brand, and I wanted to work through my feelings, my past with supporting brands and trying to separate the art from the artist, which ultimately failed for me because I felt like I can no longer just support or separate the art from the artist. So it was really working through those feelings and once again getting me out of my color comfort zone. So you see what I'm getting at? It's not just to finish a makeup palette. It's to learn and to work through other things. Anyway, it might not be that deep for everyone. For me, I feel like that's what really gets me in the long term and to keep me dedicated and to keep me going when I'm feeling frustrated is having that underlying reason. And then I didn't talk about my fourth Pan That palette. That's the Lila palette. That was really to work through my feelings of not finishing luxury products and also, once again, getting me out of my comfort zone color-wise because I never really used purple eyeshadows. So what I suggest for you is when you're picking products to pan, ask yourself these questions. Why do I want to pan this? I actually wrote this in my notes and I really like it, so I'm going to share it with you guys. I don't pan to be a makeup minimalist. I pan to learn more about makeup and myself. I'm really proud of myself for coming up with that. Do I feel inspired by this product? Can I see myself using this product for a full year? Or a full 6 months, or a full 3 months? Do I see myself coming up with looks with that product to last for that long? If the answer to all of those is yes, I choose a product. It takes me a while to decide on a Pan That palette. I start thinking about the next year's Pan That palette in August or September of the previous year. And I try out different palettes, I weigh pros and cons, and it's not until December that I make the final decision, but I'm thinking about it that early on. Tip number 4, if you are stuck on picking a product to pan, I say you should pan the products you use the most. I love panning eyeshadow because eyeshadow is my favorite part of makeup. I love eyeshadow. And so for me, panning eyeshadow, especially because I have so many eyeshadows, is an easy choice for me to make. Maybe you really like lipstick. You go through lipsticks, you've got a large lipstick collection, but you're afraid to finish up lipsticks maybe because you like one so much more than the other. Ipso facto, you should pan lipsticks. Same if you like eyeliners, if you like contour palettes, if you like face palettes, if you like blushes, though blushes are pretty difficult to pan. I've panned a couple of them and they're pretty difficult, but that's where you should start. You should pan the thing that you're reaching for the most already. Because it's going to be very difficult to pan something you don't regularly use. And it is ridiculous to pan something you never use. I never use lip liner. I think I tried once upon a time to pan a lip liner and it just was stupid. I don't use lip liner. With bullet lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, I don't. So it would make no sense for me to pan a lip liner. Tip number 5, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but you don't have to just pan makeup. And I did this with my first few my first few project pans. It was a mixture of makeup and other products. You could include nail polish, you could include fragrances, you can include body care, hair care, skin care. You can pan all of those things. And so including a few of those in your first project, say if you've got your 5 products, if 3 of them are makeup and then 2 are some other, you could have a fragrance, you could have a lotion, you could have a body wash in there just to kind of A, shake things up a little bit, but B, maybe give you more of a give me product. And a give me product is a product that you're pretty sure you could easily like finish up. But also, that being said, there are whole project pan projects dedicated to non-makeup items. There's project polishes, I think that they're called out there, where you focus on your nail polishes. There are skincare project pans. There are hair care project pans. There's literally a project pan for anything. So don't feel like you're stuck in this box where you could only pan makeup, because that's not true. All right, so the rest of these are tips specifically if you have chosen products and you're in a project. So tip number 6 is do your makeup as often as you can if you're panning makeup. If you're panning a nail polish, do your nails as often as you can. As someone who loves makeup, has a makeup YouTube channel, I do my makeup 6 to 7 times a week, minimum. I wear makeup most likely 6 days a week on average. I wear makeup. And that's how I'm able to pan products, is because I'm using them a lot. If you don't do your makeup that often, you might not be able to pan a foundation if you're not wearing it at least multiple days of the week. If you're only doing your makeup once a week, you're going to have a difficult time panning products. Not that it's impossible, but it is going to be more difficult and it might take you longer. Also keep in mind, people who pan and they specifically have YouTube channels like I do my makeup to film. So like today, I just did my makeup, I filmed a video, I'm filming this video. I might wash my makeup off, do my makeup again, and film another video. So that's another way that you can use up products, is when you're filming and you're doing different looks or different videos. You can also do that for fun. I remember just having weekends where I really didn't have much to do, so I just sat at my vanity, threw on some YouTube videos, and I just did my makeup for fun. Those are the days. Tip number 7 is to multitask with your products. There have been several projects that have been saved by multitasking my products. Lipsticks. I panned a bullet lipstick. I almost barely used it as an actual lipstick. I used it as a cream blush and it looked beautiful, and I used it as an under eye corrector. So don't look at your products just as what they're basically advertised as. Well, how else can you use them? You've got an eyeshadow palette. I use eyeshadow palettes all the time as blushes, as bronzers, as contours, as highlighters. Multitask. Because if you are stuck using this makeup product only one way, it's going to be a lot harder to pan it. Even if you are doing your makeup every day, it is going to be more difficult. Along that same vein, tip number 8 is don't be afraid to transform your products. Make those Franken shadows, make that Franken lipstick. It's a little intimidating at first, but it's so much fun. I specifically love making Franken eyeshadows as I get to like the midpoint towards the end of my Pan That palette, because it's an easy way to totally transform something you've been working with for months, and it makes it brand new again. And by repressing, sometimes the shadows are a little bit looser, not all the time, but sometimes they are, and they are a little bit easier to pan up. I just find that it's fun to get creative that way and transform something that you might have, at that point, if you're using the same palette for 6 months, you might be getting a little bored with it. So shake things up, mix those shadows together, make something completely brand new and unique to you, and then have fun using that up. Tip number 9 that I have is, if you're in any type of panning project, even if it's just for you, record your progress. Record your progress either privately or publicly. I love watching people pan on Instagram and on YouTube. I don't know if people are as active like on, like Pinterest or Twitter, but I know I've seen a lot, or on TikTok. I haven't really seen panning content on TikTok, though I am trying to actually start posting to TikTok, so I might I might post some of my panning updates there as well, and I might see some other people there. If you guys are panners on TikTok, let me know and I'll follow you. Even if you don't share it with anyone, take photos of your products, like once a month or however often you're checking in. Take videos of your products, because that way at the end of the project or at the end of your time limit, you can look back and actually see the progress. It is so much more satisfying, especially like as people who love and like consuming panning content, is to see the product slowly get used up. I love it. That's why whenever I do my Pan That palette kind of check-ins, I show a video of the palette at each section, and then I have a slideshow in each video of all the panning progress up until that point, and then at the very end of the year, I have a full slideshow video of that palette getting used all the way up. And I actually just came out with a video, I'll throw it up in the cards, where I combined all 4 of my last Pan That palette slideshows, and it's just some of the most satisfying stuff I've ever seen. I know a lot of people enjoy seeing that, and it's going to help motivate you to continue panning and keep working on if you can see that progress in real time. And last but not least, this is going to sound corny as hell, but you need to remember to have fun. Panning should be fun. If you ever get to the point where you're not enjoying panning, or you're dreading reaching for your pan products, or you're just not having fun with it, it's okay to stop. Panning isn't for everyone. If panning should be exciting, panning should be fun. You should be excited to go in, create new looks, see that progress, report on that progress. It shouldn't be something you're dragging yourself to do. It shouldn't be something you're dreading checking back in on because you're not having fun with it. Ultimately, it should be fun. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any other questions, or if you have any other tips or tricks I did not mention, leave them in the comments down below so everyone can enjoy. Thank you again for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.